Hello, everyone. Welcome back to, I think it's episode 12, which is quite
Oh, you were
exciting.
still counting? I wasn't
I
counting.
am, yeah. Every time we upload, it's is one more.
Oh, there's a
So
number.
there is a number, yeah. So I think this is episode 12, and I cannot believe that we've been doing this for 12 12 weeks.
Yeah, 3 months. Dang, sorry, 3 months.
Damn, that it has been. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah. Um, so we are doing our podcast with microphones probably next week. Mine has
Hopefully.
already come in. It's in this beautiful, beautiful box. Leah's is still on the way.
Mine got lost in transit. I'm convinced.
But hopefully it gets here and then we can try it out with our microphones and then maybe our sound quality will improve and maybe it won't. So
Hunter will, or Mart will start talking like a guy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I tend to do that anyway sometimes. So to just talk with a
The
very low
microphone?
voice. No,
The
just in
microphone, I
general.
think, lowers it, though.
Oh,
Like you get used to it really quick,
yeah.
but I think it lowers it.
Oh, then people are gonna start thinking that you're switching up your podcast partner.
I guess so.
Um, but yeah, so today's episode, we are going to be talking about our latest two blogs that we've published. One, we kind of wrote about the transition into fall and winter and things that we do and tips that we are giving to other people to kind of cope with the winter months. And this week's blog, we extended on that with diving into SAD, or as they also call it, Seasonal Affective Disorder. So we're going to be talking a little bit about those two blogs today, and hopefully you'll find this interesting and maybe you'll hear some tips that you might want to use for yourself. So I guess my question to you to start is, what are things that you do during the winter months to, stay productive, stay sane?
Well, I don't know if I'm ever actually sane, but
As sane as you
just
could be then.
just being honest here. I do have to say I hate that it gets dark at 4:30.
Yes, I totally agree.
I like when the sun goes down and it's cold and it's pitch dark, that naturally, hormonally, melatonin is released in your brain when the
Yes.
sun goes down. So I'm like, nah, I don't want to do anything. I'm 4:30. I have this long list of stuff to do, and I'm like, Netflix, bedtime, 7:30. I mean,
Honestly.
dinner. Who cares? Like, I'm not hungry when it's dark out.
Yeah.
Um, it's really, really, really hard for me to be productive. Um, and I know this. It's been like this since I was really little. So my main thing is either the night before or morning when I wake up, I write a list of all the things I have to get done. So
Okay.
there's like my schedule, and then I have like a list of tasks. And a lot of times these tasks are things I would like to get done. And then I have a set of things that are like due. So like if I have homework or if I have something that must get done that day,
Yeah.
I put it in that column.
Okay.
And I do all the things I know that must be done in the day in the morning because that's when I'm awake.
That's actually a good idea.
And then if I have extra time or for some reason I have extra energy or maybe it's like today and it's like sunny outside because it's November and I'm wearing a long sleeve
November
t-shirt.
14th.
Um and it the day seems to be a little bit longer and I have extra motivation and whatever, I can then go to those list of things I would like to accomplish today. Not need,
Okay.
but like.
Like,
So
okay.
I kind of work myself backwards because I know I'm not effective and motivated or disciplined or anything when it gets dark. It's the way it's
Smart.
always been. So I try to front load my day
Good.
instead of backward.
I think that that is quite helpful, because I notice it too whenever it gets darker. And maybe some people don't know when they're listening, but when it gets dark out, your body starts to produce melatonin, and melatonin makes you sleepy. That's why in the summer, when it gets dark late, you don't start to feel sleepy until later because your body is still awake and is not producing those hormones. But now, like Leah said, with the sun going down so early and it being so pitch black outside so early, your body is like, oh, darkness, melatonin, and then you want to go to sleep. Um, I notice it especially when it's dark out all day because it's gloomy and it's raining
Mm,
and it's just that type of weather. I just want to sit on the couch with a hot beverage and watch my show or read a book or watch a movie. Um, I don't want to go outside because I don't want to get wet from the rain. And
that's fair.
I find it very difficult to be productive. Um, but I feel like I know I have to. So because I know I have to, I will get it done. But then I also try to plan for free time at night. Um, because at night I want to relax, I want to play games with my family, or I want to go to bed early. Um, I do
But
notice though, yeah, go
no, go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, well, I was gonna say that I noticed that it's easier for me to sleep longer too, because it
Oh
stays
no,
darker longer. Yeah, for me it is. Like this morning, I woke up at 8:45. I went to bed at maybe 11:30, so I slept
could
for
not be
super
me.
long, even though I wasn't like extremely tired. But just because it's
Could
dark
not
out.
be me. I know, kind of like back to like what you were saying before the sleep part. Like y- the science behind why you're tired, why you get tired, it's all related to sun, moon, hormones
Yeah,
being produced, what triggers it. The same thing happens when you wake up. You are like there's scientific proof that shows your most productive hours are like the first 3 hours you're awake, like in the morning.
yeah,
A lot of times, like they say, what is it, like 8 to 10 or something like that, eight to 11 ish. Um, so if there's like a list of things that like you have to get done, just do them in those hours. Like prioritize that because then when you hit that slump or when you hit that mindset of, oh, I'm not being productive or like I don't have any motivation, chances are you've done all or at least the majority of those things you have to get done and you don't feel
right.
so bad about yourself. Um,
Like I have an
in terms
example
of
for,
wait, what?
I was gonna give an example for
Oh,
that.
yeah,
This today is a perfect example. Usually I start my days with either going to the gym or having to travel to school. Today I woke up and I kind of went downstairs, had breakfast, and I wanted to start doing my homework, but I wasn't actively moving. I was just sitting down on the couch watching my show while eating breakfast, and I just had such trouble concentrating today on my schoolwork. because I didn't get that early like movement in.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it could just like,
tomorrow I'm gonna try, if I wake up, I'm gonna go outside and either go for like a short run or a walk just to get my body moving before I get to work.
yeah, and even if you like wake up late, like you said today, you woke up at 8:45, right?
Yes.
You could easily like maybe not do your full workout routine, whatever you normally do, go to the gym, whatever. You could just say, I'm gonna walk around the block twice or one
Yeah.
time.
Just something.
That's enough to start stimulating your brain to be like, okay, I'm gonna be productive for
Yeah.
this amount of time. People people are a lot of times like in the habit of get up, drink coffee, whatever, tea, whatever, caffeine of some sort, and that's supposed to wake you up.
It's not. It's
That's a
the
it's a fake arousal. Like, yes, caffeine
alerts
gives
you.
you energy, it gives you the alertness, it's a fakeness. But that doesn't truly stimulate your brain to be productive.
No. It's the activation of your muscles, the getting some fresh
Yeah,
air in
and
the
in
morning.
reality, if you look at cortisol, your cortisol, which is the excitatory hormone, is at the highest when you wake up.
Yes.
And so if you have high cortisol and you dump caffeine on, that's why people get anxious. That's why people get jitters. That's why people get crashes. You really should wait an hour to 90 minutes once you're awake to actually have caffeine. So your cortisol levels are normal. So they
Lower.
even
Yeah.
out. Yeah. So like going for a walk or going to the gym, whatever it could be, like you could say, I'm just gonna walk around the block, take 5 minutes, legitimately 5 minutes, walk around the block. Walk around the outside of your house. Takes two. I mean, like for real. I've
Yeah.
known people to just say, I'm just gonna go walk the perimeter of my backyard. Like
Yeah.
literally just walk in circles in your backyard for 2 minutes.
It
And it helps
helps.
them.
It helps.
And I mean, it's harder to do in the winter, but you can still find a way to do it.
I would agree. Um, but yeah, tying to that, so the winter are the months where it's just harder to get stuff done because of the weather, and it's harder to get that movement and that activity that your body needs. Because in the summer or in the spring, it's so much easier to go outside and go for a walk to just get your body moving. And in the winter, you just kind of want to stay inside because it's warm, it's cozy, it's all these things, and it's cold outside. Um, but then when you take it a step further, there are people who go down like real bad. Um, and that's when SAD or seasonal affective disorder comes into play. Um, not too many people, I'd say, suffer from the actual disorder. There's more people who just are feeling a bit more down, but that doesn't mean you have the disorder itself.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of people just be like, oh, it's winter. It's almost like an excuse. Oh, I'm more lazy because I have seasonal depression.
Yeah,
Like, do
which it is a
you
real thing.
really? Or
Yeah,
I've known a few, not many, who've been truly diagnosed,
yeah,
right?
yeah, because seasonal affective disorder is really a form of major depressive disorder.
Yeah.
So you have to be down bad. You have to be basically all the criteria that you need for major depressive disorder, you need for seasonal affective disorder too. But seasonal affective disorder is tied to the season. That's why they call it SAD. Whereas major depressive disorder is more generalized. It's not necessarily tied to a season.
Yeah. But that does not mean that you can get a little bit more moody
Right.
or
It's perfectly normal to be a bit more moody during these months because it is
and
shittier out.
if you are, check your vitamin D because low
Yes.
vitamin D
Yeah.
is linked to depression, anxiety, feeling down, all those things.
Bunch of stuff. And
So,
as well
and
as
you're
like
not outside. You're not outside. Your body's not getting it. So, forewarning
yeah.
here, don't be like my boyfriend and be sick
For months.
for
Now,
years.
um when I was still swimming and we had our team doctor, he would always tell us to take extra supplemental vitamin D during the months that have an R
Mhm.
in them. Because the months with an R are the months where there's less sunshine, and especially with swimming being an indoor sport, you're not going to be exposed to it at all. So that's basically September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. And then May, June, and July, you don't have to take supplemental vitamin D because there's supposed to be enough outdoors.
If you go outside.
If you go outside. But
And I
with
think they say
our
what
culture,
it's 20 to 30 minutes unshaded sun.
something like that.
And that's like
And
no shade, no like sunscreen, no tanner. Just
right,
walk outside for 20 minutes in shorts and a t-shirt.
yeah. And with our culture, like we walk a lot of places, we go on our bike a lot of places. So if we just live our day-to-day life, we are supposed to get at least that amount of sunshine a day when the sun is out. But in the winter, we in the past 2 weeks, I've seen the sun once. Yeah. And it lasted for maybe a solid 12 hours in total that the sun was out. And then the next day, rain. And then the next day, rain. So
We have
it's
sun
been,
right
yeah.
now. No clouds.
Well, you should go walk outside for at least 40 minutes then because UV is not as strong. Um, but yeah, what always is important with those types of disorders is don't go diagnose yourself. Um, because self-diagnosing is not always the way to go.
Well,
If you
especially
are
because you
worried, I
don't
guess.
know. A lot of times with stuff like that, you think you're worse than what you are.
Yes, for sure. Um, but like there are a bunch of symptoms, so to say, that tie to seasonal affective disorder that you can check out in the blog that we wrote. We have a list with all the symptoms, and they need to be pretty severe. And for major depressive disorder, it needs to be at least a month that you have to experience those symptoms like day to day to be diagnosed with the disorder. Um, so if you're feeling down for 2 days in a row, no worries. You just winter blues is what they call them. um, but I
Yeah,
do
but I
think
mean,
it's
a lot of things like
interesting.
that. It's like you could have something like that, but don't jump to those conclusions because chances are it could just be a down day. It could be a
Yes,
physiological effect. It could be a hormonal effect. Like
it could be
you got to
anything.
be, yeah, there's so many things that can put you in a down mood.
Yeah,
So like the main thing is like don't jump to conclusions. Just take care of yourself. Do the basic
yeah.
things. Um,
Eat your veggies this time of year for sure because your immune system drops with the weather temperatures as well. Washing your hands, just making sure that you get enough sleep. Um, Honestly, I would recommend taking supplemental vitamins just because it boosts your system a little bit more during these winter months, and you are more susceptible to getting diseases and stuff. So taking a bit more isn't a bad thing, I would say.
Sorry, I don't know what they're doing right above me. Some weird
Oh,
noises going.
that's okay. I didn't hear anything, so we're good. Um, and yeah, just enjoy the winter months too, because
That's the other thing is like find stuff that you enjoy about each season that you have to look forward to. So, like summer, like, being outside, going to the beach, like whatever you do, okay? But like find those, obviously it can't be the same, but find your core seasonal activities. That's a good name, core seasonal activities
I like that.
that
I like that
you
a lot.
enjoy doing, that you have to look forward to. So, and
Yeah.
obviously have a core set that changes season by season. So that way you have something to look forward to.
Yeah. Like right now, sitting on a couch with a blanket and a hot tea. That's amazing when it's cold outside. Or I sleep with like one of those warm water bottles every night. I don't do that in the summer. It's way too hot. But now it's just like, oh, it's nice and warm.
That's because you're sleeping with no one in your bed.
Oh, that's a bit hard, isn't it?
I'm just saying, if I was to sleep with a warm water bottle, we would be sweating.
I know. I will not need it when I have another person next to me, but unfortunately, that is not the case right now.
But yeah, there's a lot of different things that could be causing things. A lot of it could be correlations, and a lot of it just could be that you just weren't mentally on the same page the season's turning.
Yeah,
Because you kind of go through it. You literally do. I've heard someone, I don't remember who, but I've heard it described as people who are like summer people. Like summer is their season because they live and die with the beach, or they live and die whatever, right? Like
with the
summer is their thing.
festivals or
Yeah, like music festival, like summer is their thing. They actually go through like a grieving period.
yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Like
So like
it's like
that's what I'm
saying
saying.
goodbye
Yeah.
to that period for a little bit. And I think if you are one of those people that really loves the summer and the warmer weather, just kind of accepting that that is not the case and that you cannot do the same things and then trying to find those little things that you do enjoy about the colder months. Because I don't believe that there are no good things in a different season. Like if you are a summer person, I do not believe that there are no good things for you in the winter that you enjoy doing, you
The
know?
only thing I have looking forward to for winter are snow days. I hope it's a bad winter. No, no school.
Yeah. So one thing that happens here a lot is a lot of like classical music concerts, those orchestras,
Hmm.
because they tie that to the winter for some reason. Christmas decorations in cities, those things.
Interesting.
Like my friend and I are gonna go to London this weekend, and part of it is to see the Christmas decorations that are up in the city of London. Um, And on Sunday, my dad and I will go to the thing that is called Avond van de Filmmuziek. Translated to English, it's the evening of the film music.
Okay.
So it's a concert basically, but we'll go in there and it's just 2 to 3 hours long classical music where the orchestra will play like classical film theme
Hmm.
songs, like the Harry Potter songs, Pirates of the Caribbean, Jaws, Indiana Jones, like popular movies, the orchestra will play their songs.
Interesting.
Yeah, and those types of festivals or concerts or whatever you want to call them, they only happen in like November and December because they tie that types of activities to winter.
Yeah. I mean, I would
So
say the same thing like here, but like different. I mean, I know like the St. Louis Orchestra is doing something in November. I don't know. But like here it's really big on Christmas lights or just lights. So like
yeah,
the zoo will do lights, then the aquarium will do lights, and then you got, different just the botanical gardens will do lights. Like, you know what I
oh,
mean?
that's
Like
pretty.
lights is a big thing in the
Yeah,
winter. Christmas, I guess it's really just Christmas lights or they frame it as Christmas lights. Um, like that's a big thing here and it generally runs end of November to beginning of January.
yeah.
Um,
Like after Thanksgiving.
um, y- I don't think it might start the week before. It might be
Okay.
coming up. But yeah, around the Thanksgiving, right after, right before. I don't know when it all starts, but end of
Yeah,
November time through about beginning middle of January, you have that like 6 week span where you every day slash weekend. I think it's during the December. I think it's like every day, but then after it's more just like a weekend thing. They have it set up,
yeah,
and you just walk through the zoo or you walk through the aquarium or you walk through the gardens and you just look at the different lights they have set up. And then
yeah,
there's like hot chocolate stations that are like along the path, which obviously you have to
yeah.
pay for, but I guess it's the thought that counts.
So nice.
So I mean there's different things like that. And then
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
there
I
there
just,
are good things, I
yeah,
guess.
that's,
You just gotta find your thing
yeah,
that
you
you're
gotta
interested
find what you enjoy about every season because otherwise, for some reason, the fall and winter are always the longest. Like, I feel like
in.
winter
Yeah.
just drags on forever.
Fall disappears quick.
Yeah, for us, it doesn't. Like, we have a very long fall and then it just, winter is here. Um, but
Winter is here.
it comes knocking on the door. It's like, I want to enter. But fall is like, no, not yet.
Oh, fall here goes, oh, you're well. It doesn't even have to knock. The door just kind of
Opens
flings
up, it's wide
open
open,
and the winter just comes crashing in.
just blows in, yeah. But every season I think has its good things and its bad things. And finding what you enjoy, building a routine, and maybe try what you said, trying to get everything done in the morning so that the evening you can just enjoy the coziness, enjoy the blankets, enjoy the warm tea.
Yeah, there's really nothing wrong with just wanting to like
Chill.
yeah, there's a this is how I kind of think about it. There's a reason bears hibernate.
Yeah, there's a
And
reason
okay, let's explain this
squirrels.
a little bit because I can't just make that statement. But obviously they do it for like food reasons and so on and so forth. But like it's still the same thing. We get the same like stay indoor, stay warm, stay comfortable. You feel a little bit tireder, you feel a little bit more moody, you feel a bit more down. And the sun comes out in the spring and winter, and you feel a little bit more motivated, a little bit more active, a little bit more this. But if you think about it, like that's almost like a natural animalistic pattern.
Yeah, I would say so.
And so it's okay for you to be a little bit more,
Down in that slump.
yeah, to be in a slumpish period during the cold months of winter. Like I feel
Yeah.
like that is a normal pattern. It is obviously I think society puts so much pressure on the human side of us because we have holidays. Like, you have to be doing all these holiday parties. You have to have all these family parties. You have to have the family gatherings, and you have to have this, and you have to have that. And we
Yeah.
kind of feel we get hard on ourselves when we don't want or we don't have the energy or we're just exhausted from doing all that.
Yeah.
That's society.
That isn't natural.
I'm going to go on my pedestal because it bugs me. Because when you really think about the physiological side of humans, the animal side of humans, that's
Yeah.
not normal. That is society. That
Yeah.
is the expectation of our human side. That is not how our brains operate. That's not how our hormones operate. That's not how any of this goes.
I would agree.
I will come off my pedestal now.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yes, thank you for my TED Talk.
I don't really have anything to add to that because I totally agree with you. And I think it's okay for us to, just let ourselves chill a little bit more over the colder months and don't have as many expectations in ourselves. But just try to enjoy life. You only got one, and do the things that make you happy. And that should count for every season, not just the winter.
Yes. Find your seasonal. Here, we can have everyone comment your top 3 to 5 favorite core seasonal activities.
Core seasonal activities. I'm going to make a note of that and I will put it into our question and answer for this week on Spotify.
What
Core
would you
seasonal.
say? What would you say your top 3 to 5 core seasonal activities are?
So for me, it's really kind of similar across the board. But definitely during the winter and the fall, reading is my number one, probably. Um, I do like visiting Christmas markets in Germany. And then I think the third one is just making the living space feel cozy and walking into a place that just feels warm, you know,
That's fair. I can
because
see
it's
that.
already so cold outside. It doesn't need to be cold inside the house. Like having that warm
Yeah.
embrace when you walk inside is just like, ah, nice.
Yeah.
So I think those are definitely my winter favorites. What about you?
Um, I think for me, I don't really I haven't really thought about my winter ones. I'm such a not winter person. I hate winter every year.
Well, then it's
Um,
good that we're having this
I
talk.
what gets me down during the winter? I'll tell you what gets me down. Why I'm thinking about my three. Um, I always have this idea of what I want the winter months and the holidays and all of that to look like, and it never meets my expectation. So I
Well,
get
then
really
maybe you should
upset.
lower your expectations or
Maybe
just
this
not.
year will be the first year that it doesn't completely dissolve my expectations because, like, for instance, we'll give you a little example. For instance, I like the idea of, like, in the evenings, eat dinner, and then in the evening section after dinner, just like have, like, kind of what we used to, like, have hot chocolate or like apple
Yeah,
cider or tea, whatever, and watch a movie or a show, right?
well, that's your first thing.
Right. But we like to put school during these months.
Yeah.
And so the expectation never really
But you'll
exists.
have winter break though, where you
And I
can
don't
do all
have
those
swimming,
things.
so maybe this is the first year that I can kind of
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff comes to like a thing.
Yeah.
The second thing is in my head is I like to spend these months with people I'm closest to.
Yeah,
This is gonna sound really, really bad, I know, but like, and part of this has to do with the fact that I grew up really far away from my entire family. It was just my immediate family. I don't need to go to 5 family holidays.
that doesn't sound
Like,
bad.
I don't need to go Thanksgiving and then a month later do 2 separate Christmases and then a week later go to a third Christmas. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
If it was just like me and Hunter and we woke up and we started our own traditions. I'm to the point where I want to start my own traditions.
that's fair.
And school and swimming and not being still being taken in different directions due to the nature of Hunter in my relationship at the moment um really takes away from that we can't
Yeah.
create our own traditions. But now that we've moved away, um hopefully that's kind of a thing. But yeah, just slowing down, just I don't know, I guess those are my 2 things that I really look forward to. Other than that, that's not true. I like if we get snow. I like to just sit and look at the snow. And
That's
I actually
fair.
like being outside in the snow if it's the right type, but just like that
Yeah.
romantic
Yeah,
fantasy.
romanticizing.
Yeah, like not
Yeah.
romantic as in like girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, but like the true meaning of
Yeah.
romantic.
We can
Um,
have another episode one day about just the typical or the fantasy. I don't want to even say
yeah.
fantasy, like the ideal type of Christmas day, I guess.
Oh,
Um,
that would be interesting. I would
it would
love
be.
to have
We
that
can talk
discussion.
about that for sure, but we're gonna have to wrap up here. So
Yeah,
we gotta save that for another day. Um,
it'll
but I
be
do
our
like
Christmas
those
series. Don't
things.
worry. The
We will
Christmas.
definitely do a Christmas series, or at least a couple of episodes on Christmas. And I
Mhm.
cannot wait to tell everybody about London next week, hopefully, maybe.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Um, yeah, so we're excited for that. And thank you all again for tuning in. Um, give us a rating if you're enjoying us, or if you're not enjoying us, you can also give us a
And
rating.
share, especially if you're listening on Spotify, share in your Instagram stories or Facebook stories or TikTok stories or whatever
Wherever,
you're using that you're listening and what your favorite parts of the podcast were and
yeah,
anything like that.
we want to hear your opinions. So don't be afraid to give us your opinions, even though they might not be great, but we are open to anything.
Yes.
So thank you all, and we will see you all next week.
We'll see you next week.
And bye.